I think the girls with their nails done now.
Right, welcome back to another video, and in this one, as you can see, we've got a 110 kill game with the Enfield Sniper on Rotterdam Conquest. And this was quite a big game because it was the last gun I needed to get to complete that challenge of getting 100 kills, plus with all guns in Battlefield 5. Again, not including the anti-material rifles because they're just impossible. But nonetheless, was one of the hardest snipers for me to do and get the 100 kills with, simply because of the bullet velocity of the gun. The 6x scope is terrible, and many different other factors. But nonetheless, I managed to do 110 kills, which is the most amount of kills I managed to get with any of the snipers in the 100 kill game. So quite lucky in that sense. But I'll talk a bit straight up at the start of the game about the gun, how I played with it, what was good about it, what was bad with it, how you want to play with it, and then again just how I was playing on Rotterdam to find the most amount of kills. So obviously, to start off with, the Enfield Sniper has got multiple different sights like any of the other snipers you can choose from, and I've gone straight in and I've chosen to use the 3x scope. I always used scopes of a higher zoom, so pretty much on guns like the Krag or the Kar, I always go with the 6x scope. I always want that bigger zoom. I want the enemy to be bigger, I want their head to be bigger, so that I've got more room to get my reticle, my sight on their head and get easier headshots, and then obviously see enemies at distance longer. But the 6x scope with this gun is just terrible. It's got a really thick post on the sight, and when you're moving with the sight, the scope and just the bar of the reticle and the sight goes blurry, so it's very, very hard to use. And then especially when you've got this being one of the lowest bullet velocity snipers, therefore it just becomes really hard to track targets, hit moving targets, and all you can really hit is enemies that are standing still. And when you're standing still, then to make sure the sight is smooth and is not blurry, you're going to put yourself at a bigger risk of being killed by another sniper because you're standing still. So, and of course, if you want to go for the 100 kill games with the snipers, you've got to you have to be able to kill every single target and moving target that you can see. So that's why I've gone with a 3x scope. It's got a much thinner and better sight, and it's not as blurry. Of course, it's a bit harder to see enemies at range, but that's a small disadvantage to have the advantage of being able to move and hit moving targets and have a clearer sight and clearer vision. Again, in terms of the specializations, just check out the playlists I've made for all the guns in the game, where I explain what the best choices I've gone for are and why. Because I've spent the time to make those videos, and so it's pointless me putting it inside of every single video. Just go check that playlist out on the homepage or in the playlists section. But the specializations tree for this isn't really that big of a factor when using this gun. But yeah, overall, like I've said with the gun, bad bullet velocity. The 6x scope is terrible, which means you have to use a 3x scope, which obviously is not as good at longer range, but it is one of the snipers with the highest, one of the bolt snipers with the highest fire rates, which you could see here is really useful for getting 2 quick body shots, which is something I'm going to recommend you do with this gun, is go for body shots whenever there's, you're in close to medium range, rather than a headshot, because you've got that high fire rate and you can beat a lot of other different guns just going for those quick body shots, and you're not risking missing shots going for a headshot. So you'll see me do that quite a bit. So you've got a 10 bullet magazine, which is obviously one of the highest magazine sizes in the bolt action out of all the bolt action snipers as well. So you've also obviously got that extra ammo to be able to use for 2 body shots. And if you just went for body shots all game, obviously you got a maximum of 5 kills with those 10 bullets, like you would have if you had 5 headshots, 6 headshots with the 5 or 6 bullets that you get with a Kar or a Krag. So go for headshots where you can on enemies that are standing still, or headshots on long distance moving targets. But if you've got someone who's engaging you in a fight, or another sniper who's engaging you, go for the body shots. Sometimes even go for the body shots at long range, because you've got the 3x scope, so it's that much harder to hit the headshot, if that makes sense. But the last thing I would say is don't value this sniper above any of the other bolt-action snipers just because it's got 10 bullets in the magazine, because most of the time you're not going to be encountering 10 enemies in a row, especially if you're playing a game mode like Conquest, and you never really need to use the 10 bullets. And if you let yourself use all 10 bullets up and then reload, you've got much longer reload time for those 10 bullets than you would have with the 5 bullets of, the car. And so there's a much longer time you're going to be reloading, and have a much longer time that an enemy can come and kill you while you're reloading. So you only really need 5 bullets with any of the bolt action snipers, because that's the most amount of enemies you're going to kill. You've got your sidearm, which you can then change to if you really do need to take on that 6th enemy, or you miss a shot or two. And then you have a lesser reload time. So, the 10 bullets in this gun isn't that special, and you want to be reloading this gun, before you get below 5 bullets, ideally. But as you've seen from all the clips so far in this game, again, same as always, play using your power position as the bridge. It allows you to see all the flags from one, spot on the map. It means you can see the maximum potential amount of enemies. You can see all the enemies that are running, across from. You can basically capture all the enemies that are running down the bridge, whichever spawn, whichever side you spawn on at the start of the game. You can see all the enemies going down the full length of the bridge, so you get kills down the whole middle of the map. And then you can obviously see all the enemies pushing from the flags on either side of the bridge of the map. So from B to D, and then from obviously A to C, and then C to E. And so, you can see every single enemy from this power position. You've got a sniper, so you're able to actually hit and kill any enemy you can see from this position. And therefore, this is where you're going to obviously maximize the most amount of potential kills you can get in the game. So, that's what you want to do if you have a long-range weapon like a sniper or a semi-automatic rifle, and you're playing Rotterdam. Of course, if you're playing SMGs, shotguns, etc., you're going to want to use the bridge as your main route to go to and from the flags, because it is above the ground. See, on the ground level here now, every single person on the map here can see me on the same ground level that they're all on, and therefore I'm an easy target for anyone on the map right now. But if you use the bridge to travel to and from flags to attack enemies, if you're using close range weapons, well, obviously you're way above ground level for the map, and therefore you can only be killed at that level by people on the bridge. Obviously people can look up at the bridge and shoot at you, but it's very hard to kill you and see you. So using the bridge means you're way above ground level, and it just minimizes the amount of people can actually see you and go for you and kill you. Well, yeah, there isn't really much else to say. I guess, as usual, the main key tip if you are going to be playing the Scout class on any single map is make sure you use the spawn beacon, utilize it, because it's obviously going to give you the closest and quickest spawn to where the enemies are, or whichever flag obviously you want to be attacking or defending, or even just being able to stay on the bridge in this example, and be there as quick as possible. So you're always being able to see the most amount of enemies as possible, and you're spending less time running to where you need to be, and more time shooting and getting kills. And then of course with a spawn beacon, you aren't going to get a spawn being cancelled because one of your teammates is spawning on and getting shot at, as well as not spawning on a flag and spawning you miles away. So make sure you utilize the spawn beacon. That's one of the biggest things for getting the 100 kill games with the snipers, is using the spawn beacon. I would say using the spawn beacon is more valuable than using your most favorite sniper. You could use the worst sniper and it'd be easier to get 100 kills because you got the spawn beacon, than without it. It's very, very close, in fact. So make sure you use that. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for this game. There's not really much else. 1 minute left. I'll let you guys finish the video. Make sure you drop a like, leave a comment literally about anything, your favorite part of this video, or whatever tip or trick or anything else you want to say. Just leave a comment. I love replying to comments. And obviously subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'll have another 100 game out soon, maybe a few more other different types of videos as well, and see you on the next one.